Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Thank you for joining me on this journey of growing my channel, and I hope that you return over and over again. Please make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thank you. So let's get right into it. Today I want to continue on my series on Joseph. And why am I always talking about Joseph? Joseph is somebody that's a Bible character that I truly admire. Growing up, I always wanted to have the kind of focus that Joseph had, in spite of all the things that he went through. I always wanted to live a life that is holy, like Joseph. And just all those little things that he showed that that symbolized that God was with him regardless. So today I want us to just briefly look into Joseph as somebody that knew without a doubt that God was with him, regardless of his circumstances or what was happening around him. Okay, so we all know that, Joseph had dreams that he shared with his brothers, and he also shared with his dad, and his dad actually tried to tell him that, no, don't be sharing this kind of dreams. Are you saying that your brothers will bow to you? But he was so convinced that he had yet another dream and still shared it again. Okay, so he had circumstances. There were circumstances that made it look like those dreams will not come to pass, but we know that he persevered until they came to pass. But today's focus is Joseph was not a people pleaser. And how did I come about this? Well, his father told him not to share his dreams again because they were offensive. I mean, who do you think you are? And his brothers obviously didn't want him to be, caught up in that thought that he's going to be so great and then they will bow to him. But if Joseph was a people pleaser, and by the way, we all know that people pleasers are people that will try to do things to make other people happy, even if it's to their own detriment. There are a lot of us that are guilty of this, okay? So, but Joseph wasn't that way. Joseph would have just hidden his second dream when his father told him not to share his dreams again, but he didn't. He kept I want to assume that he kept making noise about those dreams, even more than twice that the Bible recorded. Because if it was only 2 times, why did they feel so angry and decide to kill him? So he didn't try to please his brothers. He didn't try to please anybody. He was focused on what God wanted him to do. When you have a goal, a task, when God has given you a vision, something he wants you to do, you have to let go of people pleasing. You have to learn to be okay to disappoint people that you love. You have to learn to be okay to disappoint people that you respect, to do what God wants you to do. Because when you are given a vision, not everybody will see it until it comes to fruition. Not everybody will see what God has told you to do. Even if you explain it to them 100 times, they may not understand. Because that vision that you have, it comes with conviction. And you can't blame other people for not having it. But you have to stay true to yourself. You have to stay true to what God has told you to do. And you have to do it, regardless. From what I have seen in great people's lives, their story, when you hear that story, you realize that at the beginning, they experienced a lot of rejection. A lot of people doubted them. A lot of people doubted that they had a dream. Then when the dream started coming to pass, they were like, don't you know that it was my classmate? Don't you know that we were roommates? They now try to associate with you. But when the dream was in the betting stage, the people were not encouraging them. Instead, they were discouraging them. Go and get 9 to 5. What are you doing? Do you understand? So Joseph held on to those dreams, even in the pit. They threw him into the pit. I know he was in pain. I know he was disappointed, but he held on to it because that's the price he paid for not being a people pleaser. Rejection. I know he was disappointed, but he held on to his conviction. How do I know? When he got a break in Potiphar's house, he still had that conviction that God had given him a purpose. And so when Potiphar's wife came to him and he rejected her, that was him not being a people pleaser. Because that's his madam. But he didn't try to please her. He was like, I'd rather go to prison. He still had conviction because he said, well, how would I do this thing and sin against God? He still had that conviction. Okay, so he got to the prison. And he's like, my life is really getting worse. I thought it was getting better. I thought I had a break. But he still had conviction. He didn't try to please anybody. He was still going around trying to help other people. Yeah, so even after the prison, fast forward to when things now became better for him, his dreams became a reality. His brothers, all of them bowed to him like what the dreams said was going to happen, and he became the head over everything in Egypt and everything. I want us to learn from that. Hold on to your purpose. You can't fulfill your purpose if you're a people pleaser. You have to learn to have strong boundaries. There are people that do this easily. They know how to have strong boundaries since they were small. You notice them as children. Come and do this thing. No, I'm not doing it. No. But then you notice some other children that anything you ask them to do, okay, they're all polite, all nice. And I'm not saying that it's not good to be polite and nice, but we need to draw the line. When you grow up and you have a purpose, you have a vision, you have somewhere you are going, it's not every time you have to say yes, just so that other people don't get offended. You have to learn to say no, even when it's hard. Because at the end of the day, people are just. I mean, look at all the brothers. When things started going well for Joseph ended up being someone that saved them. And they adjusted. They bowed. Okay? So people that you feel that, okay, because I said no, they may not be too friendly with me again. Because I said no, I may not have that contract and this and that. Still hold on to your no, especially if you're convinced that what you say no is getting you closer to the will of God, getting you closer to the purpose that God has given to you. Keep saying no. When those people see that they know how the purpose, they will adjust, they will understand, they will celebrate with you. So in order for you to fulfill your purpose, you have to have strong boundaries. You have to have strong boundaries. And when you have strong boundaries, it's a bit lonely because people pleasers have a lot of people around them because they don't easily offend people. They always say yes, they're likable and things like that. Are you called to be liked? Or are you called to be a good person and to fulfill what God has called you to do? There's a place in the Bible that God says that if you love me, you will do what I've asked you to do. And it's so bad sometimes that some people have heard clearly from God that this is a step they're supposed to take. But because they don't want to ruffle feathers, they will disobey God. God forbid. Okay? Have strong boundaries. Just like Joseph. Joseph had strong boundaries with Potiphar's wife, with his brothers, and it led him to his purpose. Sadly, a lot of people are going to go to the great beyond without fulfilling their purpose, without fulfilling their destiny, because they listened to what their neighbors were saying, to what their friends were saying, against what God was saying. Okay? So please, let us be more intentional about our lives. Let us be more... Intentional is the word. Be more intentional about your relationship with God. Keep communing with God, even in the pit, even in the prison. And at the end of the day, it will be worth it. Because I can't even begin to imagine the joy that Joseph felt when he was now the head of everything in Egypt and distributing things. It was all worth it at the end of the day. So be like Joseph. Have strong boundaries. And it will be worth it at the end of the day. Yeah. So thanks for watching. If you've been listening from the beginning to this point, I'm so grateful. I'm very grateful that you had the patience to listen to this upcoming YouTuber, Thank you. So please subscribe and like and turn on your notification button so that when I upload another video, you'll be the first to know. And let's grow this channel together. Let's spread the good news. Let's talk about Jesus. Let's talk about mental health and all the good stuff. Okay, so please even share this video with anybody you wish to share to, if you believe that it will be inspiring. Thank you so much. Subscribe, share the video, like, and I'm grateful that you're even here. God bless.